The humble home office, so often neglected, used as that space where we end up dumping all of those unwanted Christmas presents, working on top of a pile of books. It doesn't need to be that way. I'm going to show you 5 amazing tech tips that are really going to help you enjoy working from home and make you more productive. Let's get into it. Okay, so tip number 1 is to make it comfortable. There's absolutely no point being in surroundings where you're uncomfortable. You're never going to do your best work. You're never going to be productive. And the first key part of that is the desk. I'm recommending everyone working from home should have a sitting, standing desk. Now, a lot of people think these are a complete novelty. They never actually get used. No one ever stands at a sit-stand desk, particularly not at home. But it's so important to keep those energy levels up. Switch your position, switch between sitting and standing. If you're on a really important meeting that needs high energy, I always find that standing up, I deliver much better presentations. The desk I use is the Arbaz Height Adjustable Standing Desk, which I got from Wayfair. There's quite a lot on Wayfair in particular, all sizes as well, so I've got quite a small office space here and I've got a nice small desk that fits in there. But crucially, I can sit and stand whenever I want. There's 4 programmable settings on it. It's absolutely perfect for my needs. Now, the second thing I'm going to recommend to make sure you're comfortable is to really make sure you get your chair right. You wouldn't accept going into a proper office and sitting in an uncomfortable chair, so why would you do it at home? There's loads of chairs out there for not very much money that are going to be so much more comfortable than bringing your dining chairs up to your office or even working in the kitchen at your dining table. I've got a chair from a company called Song Mics, which I bought off Amazon, probably about £100, which, when you consider how often you're going to be sitting in this chair, needing to be comfortable while you work from home is an absolutely sound investment. Tip number 2 is make sure you can plug and go. What I mean by this is being able to walk into that office with your laptop, plug it in and have it within a couple of seconds appear on your screen. All your equipment is connected up instantly. You're not faffing around with various cables trying to hook things up because you might not have the time to do that. There's always going to be those mornings where you're rushing out of bed, you've overslept, you've got an early meeting and you just need to get hooked up quickly so you can jump on that call. The key to that is being able to have one plug that you plug into your laptop and then everything works. Again, when you're in a real office, you've normally got some kind of docking station that you'll plug in, the laptop connects to the screen, it also charges at the same time. So make sure you've got that at home. You might have a home computer too that lives in the home office, and that can make things difficult sometimes because that's already hooked up to your screen. If that's the case, I recommend investing in some kind of USB splitter. There's various of these available, and they just let you click a button to switch between which USB output you're connected to. So I have a USB-C splitter that is connected to my M1 Mac Mini, but then I can also switch it over to plug in my work laptop so that it's ready to go when I need it. Next, you're going to want to make sure you have a multi-screen setup. So you've probably got a laptop, but that's not going to be enough if you're dealing with multiple windows at once. You're going to need a main screen that's on your desk so that when you plug your laptop in, you can use your laptop as a second screen and your main screen, which is big enough to handle multiple windows, that lives there permanently on the desk. Again, it's something people often forget about in their home office. It's pretty much standard in any real office that you have a docking station and then a large screen so that you can dual screen between your laptop and the main screen. And lastly, I'm going to recommend that you have a laptop stand. It kind of just lifts the laptop off the desk, so it gives you a bit more space, especially helpful for me when I've got quite a small desk. I can just raise that laptop up and then there's a bit of extra space for my hands. I just use a walnut laptop stand that I bought from Etsy. It matches the aesthetic of the desk really well. So being able to plug and go is essential. Tip number 3 is let there be light. Firstly, you're going to want to make the ambient lighting in the room something that's comfortable. I use Philips Hue lights in my home office, and that means I can switch the color temperature up according to what I want to get done. So if I want to be really productive, I can turn it to a nice cool white tone, raise the brightness and get the energy going. But if that starts to get a bit too much, if I'm maybe getting sore eyes or a headache, I can warm that tone up, bring the brightness down a little bit. Maybe if I'm working on into the evening slightly and I don't want that harsh light all day, it's important to be able to change your lighting throughout the day to keep you in the best place to do your best work. And the second part of lighting you want to get right is lighting this. Lighting yourself. You probably, if you're working from home, are doing a lot of video calls, so you're going to want to light your face properly. You want people to be able to see you on calls. They're obviously not getting that in-person interaction, so them being able to see you in decent enough quality that they feel like they're getting a proper interaction with you, I think that's so important. I use the Elgato ring light, which is really designed for streamers. I can just quickly flick it on when I need to with my phone and then jump into a call. I can also adjust the brightness on it and the color temperature, so as the ambient lighting in my room changes, I can change the lighting on my ring light to suit the lighting around me. Seriously guys, don't forget lighting, which leads me nicely on to tip number 4, which is make yourself seen and heard. Almost all laptops now have some kind of built-in camera, so you might think that's enough, you're set up. But there's 2 reasons I'm going to suggest you actually get a dedicated camera. The first one is that if your laptop's on a docking station off to one side, you don't want to be glancing to the side every time you're on a call and then glancing back to your screen to see what you're doing. You want the camera front and center, so that camera on your laptop is maybe not as useful as it was. You want a camera that's above your main screen, which means getting a dedicated webcam for exactly that purpose. And if you're going to get a webcam, you need to make it a good one. The quality of the cameras that are built into laptops, even most high-end laptops, just aren't very good. They haven't got the sensor size to be able to let in enough light to up that quality. I use the Logitech C920 webcam. It's 1080p Full HD. It's not going to replace something like a DSLR, but then I'm not trying to make a Hollywood movie. I'm just trying to be seen well on my calls. Again, it ties back into the lighting thing, just making sure that people who are speaking to you can engage with you properly. So at least let them see you in HD. The second part of this is to make sure you have decent speakers. I've seen a lot of people on video calls wearing those kind of headsets with a mic that comes across Britney style, but I don't think you want to look like an air traffic controller. Not that there's anything wrong with being an air traffic controller, but you wouldn't go to work dressed as a policeman if you're not a policeman. Keep your ears free, keep your head free, look like a normal person having a normal conversation. Part of the key to that is having good speakers. I use a pair of stereo speakers from Edifier. They connect to my computer setup, but they're also Bluetooth speakers, so I can Bluetooth from my phone if I want to listen to music as well. That's really nice sometimes when you're getting on with those menial tasks and you know you're not going to be on meetings, just to be able to put on some nice, decent quality music while you work. And again, you don't have to be in headphones, so you can hear anyone else in the house at the same time. And obviously, going along with the speakers, you need a decent microphone as well. I honestly think this is one of the most important things that gets forgotten about in a working from home setup. Most people are just happy using the inbuilt microphone on their laptop. Those microphones are pretty terrible, again, even in high-end laptops. If you want to come across with authority on your online meetings, your microphone is so important. I use the Blue Yeti Nano microphone. Again, this isn't expensive, but it's going to level up how you sound on your calls. I just have that connected to a boom arm, which is then connected to my desk, so that every time a call starts I can just bring the microphone over. When I need it out of the way, I can just push it back away again. So gear up properly for those meetings, make sure you're seen and make sure you're heard. Okay, and tip number 5 is treat your fingers, by which I mean buy a proper mouse and keyboard. Again, this is something people forget about because they'll be given a mouse and keyboard by their place of work and they're happy not spending more money than they have to. But I'm here to tell you that this is an investment you really won't regret. How much time do you spend in a working day typing on a keyboard and clicking your mouse? You need to make sure that's an enjoyable experience and a comfortable one. And I use a keyboard and mouse from Logitech. The Logitech MX Master, which is the mouse, and the Logitech MX Keys is my keyboard. These are both incredible. You'll see all over YouTube so many people use this mouse and keyboard combo because it's tried and tested. The keyboard is buttery smooth, it feels so nice to type on. The mouse is ergonomic, it has some extra buttons as well that let you customize its use within different apps. It's also got a really nice scroll wheel that can switch between free scrolling and that more kind of traditional mechanical scroll. So having a great mouse and keyboard is honestly going to make you enjoy your work more. So don't neglect those fingers. I mean, yeah, sounds a bit weird, but you get the point. I do have a couple of extra bonus tips for you that I think are really going to help you level up your working from home. And the first one of these is cable management. If you do invest properly in your working from home setup and you end up getting a lot of the products that I've recommended, you are going to have a lot of cables, it's inevitable. So proper cable management is essential. You can buy kits on Amazon with various different bits and pieces for cable management. So just make sure those cables are tucked away so that when your legs are under the desk, they're not being tickled. And the next bonus tip is to get a PA. No, I don't mean a human PA, obviously. If you've got a human PA, then you maybe don't even need to watch this, to be fair. I mean a smart assistant, of course. I use as my smart assistant, but this should work with any of them. They can do some really simple, handy tricks that are going to stop you having to click away from what you're working on and interrupt your workflow to perform some simple tasks. Alexa, make fart noises. One example of that is the calculator. So instead of turning away to the calculator that's on your desk or opening up your phone calculator app, you can ask your voice assistant simple calculation. As you're working through something, as you're typing, if you need to do a quick calculation, why not just ask the voice assistant? And then you can just keep on going, listen to the answer, and then you're not interrupted. The second way I use my voice assistant while I'm working from home is to set myself reminders and timers. If you think of something while you're working that you want to be reminded of later, you don't want to interrupt what you're doing now, you can just tell your voice assistant to remind you in a set amount of time. I also level this up a bit and I've linked to the Things app, which is my to-do list app of choice on my iPhone, iPad and Mac, so that when I ask to add something to my to-do list, not only does it add that to my to-do list, it adds it to my things to-do list as well in real time, so I can come back and check it later. And finally, the last bonus tip I have is to do away with paper. Stop taking loads of notes in various different notebooks that end up strewn around your home office and making it messy. Most real life offices now are pretty much paperless, and your home office should be the same. Find a notes app on your laptop or phone or tablet that you're comfortable with using and start taking your notes on there. It makes them searchable, it means you don't lose anything you've made a note on, and it means you don't end up with notes that will never be seen again. It keeps them organised, and we like organised. But I'm going to contradict myself slightly here and also recommend that you have a nice pen. I don't really use my pen, but it's just nice to have for those rare scenarios where you do end up writing something down. Maybe you write in a journal before work, and it is sometimes nice to do that on paper. It also makes a really good fidget toy, especially when you're on a high pressure meeting. You can just be fiddling with your pen off camera. Yeah. You can be playing with your pen. Oh god. You've got a pen that you can hold. Anyway, so there we go. They are my top tech tips for really making working from home an enjoyable experience. I promise you, if you invest in some of this stuff, you're going to find that experience of working from home so much better. And no one's going to replace face-to-face interactions, but you wouldn't go into your proper office and accept less than good quality equipment. So why do that at home? And you can make your home office even better for you than your real office, because everything you invest in has been chosen by you because it works for you. And I promise you that's going to make such a difference. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked it, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more similar content. If you've got any suggestions for what you want to see next, please leave a comment down below. Thanks, and see you on the next one.